What is up, YouTube? Thanks for stopping into the video. If you like what you see here, please drop a like and a subscribe. Don't forget, man, comments are always welcome. What we're going to do is we're going to break down BAGRA Fortress hard point specifically for rank play, and we're going to break it down person by person, position by position, and the reasoning behind and the thought process behind everything that we're doing here. So right off rip, we are at the good spawn for P1. Now P1 is literally right here. Everybody knows where P1's at, man. So we're spawning at the semi. Right off rip, we're going to need somebody to position on fork truck. We're going to need somebody to position on double windows, and one dude position in the hard point, and one dude hold stage. And what this is going to allow us to do, those positions right there, and I mean your tack sprinting full blown going. One dude full blown to double windows, one dude full blown to freaking P1, one dude full blown to the fork truck, and one dude full blown to stage. This is the positioning that needs to be played when you're playing hardpoint on P1 from this spawn, because the other spawn that the other enemy just got is here, which you're already ahead of the game for P1 if the enemy is spawning here or wherever, like back in this area right here. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to transfer over. I mean, everybody knows what point time's about, so we're going to break down the other players, right? He's got this. He's got this all day. He's got the guys coming straight around that corner, coming by bench, trying to get into the hard point. And he's also got these guys coming out of here or there if they manage to get through this part of the map. And he's holding spawn. So your team will spawn back here with you, right? Spawn to some advantageous place on this side of the map, strategically placing your team on the correct side. The dude that full tack sprinted from spawn straight to here, freebie kills all day. Freebie kills all day. And he's got cover on top maps. Freebie kills all day and top maps. So let's say the enemy team spawned and all four of their team rushed right through here. This guy's going to kill 2, 3 of them. The guy on fork truck is going to kill the other one, and the guy, you know, however it works. But they're just going to respawn on that side where they don't want to be because you got them in the vice, right? Now, let's talk the dude that is holding the stage. And let's talk about why it's important to hold the stage, right? You got the guy on fork truck holding our spawn. Guy on stage is going to be holding like this because he's going to be killing anybody who is trying to flank and trying to obtain the good spawn. And now that we are all advantageously strategically placed in our positions, these guys are kill feeding out of this gate. They're just kill feeding. So the flow of enemies is this, right? They're just continually coming here to their death. You have a guy holding them from here. You have a guy holding them from here. They can't make it around to get you out of your spawn. You have 2 guys, 3 guys. All this part of the map is covered with 3 different gunfires from 3 different spots, and each of these guys are holding a strategic place to keep us spawning on the correct side for P1 to pick up rotation for P2. So now we are going to literally break down P2. And guess what? We already have P2 because we already have a guy playing P2, right? Already got P2. Somebody's already playing it. This dude on fork, he's just going to come here and he's going to pick this up. He's going to pick up the semi. Guy from P1 is going to come over here and he's going to pick up fork truck. Guy from double windows is now going to pick up single window. So this guy's just going to keep doing his job. The guy from double windows just has to switch to the here. Right? So now they're going to be kill feeding straight out of that gate. And what are the guys in the back in that portion of the map doing? They're holding here to hold us in a good spawn and cover bottom art and top art or cannons, whatever you want to call it. This whole thing is just kind of like a mess for call-outs. Call it what you want. We need to call it this. He needs to hold this door and those 2 windows. Guy on fork truck, what's he doing? He's holding flank, right? He's holding the flank so these guys can't get up here and get me or the good plane right there out of here so they get the good spawn and flip us to the bad side of the map. So at this point, you should have the enemy team kill feeding out of that gate over there. And Everybody has to make sure that they're communicating. You have to make sure you're communicating, and you have to make sure you fill the gap. Because if we're all spawning here, then we can all get to position really fast, right? We can all get back to position and get our stronghold back really fast. Now, this is defending, and from the perspective of your team has specifically gotten the hard point, right? So to this point, in this little idea that your team has now shut them out of that P1, and now you're shutting them out of P2, right? It's not like you've been playing offensive trying to get these guys out of the hard point. So don't get me wrong there. You shouldn't be playing these positions unless you guys have the hard point. So if you have the hill, this is how you need to be playing. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the map. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about P3. P3 is a huge deal. P3 is the make or break of El Bagra Fortress Hardpoint. And I will tell you why. Because there's only 3 entrances to get to this hardpoint. There's only 3 ways to get in here. So now we have a guy on semi, we have a guy on fork truck, we have a guy in single window, and we have a guy holding hill time and covering these 2 doors. So what we're going to do is we're going to send fork truck guy this way on the map, and he's going to come in here. Whoever gets to this part of the map on your team first needs to get here. So we're talking about rotating early, right? So they need to come hide in this little cubby. Second dude needs to pick up here, or if it's changed already, pick up hill time. However, but essentially once your team gets over here, you need the hill held with one guy, you need this little cubby held, you need this circle held, and you need cages held. However we get there, we need to do it. But the enemy team is spawning from here, so that if they rotate, they can rotate way sooner. So it's kind of better to just vacate the whole team this way, let them come in, pick up their little bit of hill time while we get over here and chase the new hard point. So let's go over to P3 and let's talk about it, and let's make it very clear, guys, that P3 is our make or break on this map. I mean, all hard points are make or break, but this one right here, you can potentially shut them out of the hard point super easily, where they never even get a 1 minute or 1 second of hill time. Dude's going to be holding here. This guy right here needs to be the first player back here. And why does the first player need to go here and not be here, or not be kind of over there, or holding the milk truck? For one, you're the farthest back of the map. Your team is going to spawn over here closer to you. And if you stay alive, the longer you stay alive, the better chance is that your team's going to spawn here if they get killed over there. So that's already flipping the spawn to have the good spawn from having the good spawn on that side. So this guy's hiding here. If the guys come this gate or come cages right here, and I'm tucked up in here like this, can't nobody see me, can't nobody see me. Even like at this position, nobody knows I'm back here, man. They'll run right up in here, get right on this hard point, and we'll just shoot them right dead square in the back. Let them rotate early. If they're going to come in here with like one dude and rotate, you can win the gunfight if you just let them sneak their way through here and get on and set their little deal up on here, right? And then, okay, so you have one guy in hill, one guy in this cubby, one dude playing here, right? One dude playing here, and then one dude playing this position right here. One of these positions up here, as long as he's in this area holding this door, right? And what happens here is you get set up in such a way that the enemy team is going to kill feed straight to this hill. And you have 2 guns right on this hill. You have 2 guns just destroying them on this hill. And the guys that get sick of being destroyed out of here are going to try this door or try this door. Then you have these 2 dudes picking that up. So essentially, you have 3 places to cover, and you have 4 people covering it. So it turns out to be a super easy hill to hold, a super easy hill to keep the enemy team flipped out over here, and where they cannot do anything to you. They can't get in the hill. But this all counts on everybody knowing what to do. Say these 2 dudes are still alive. He gets killed. He will push. Let's say he gets killed and he's dead. This guy needs to vacate and go get hill. And then he this player can play this. And at this point, your team should be like spawning around in here somewhere close to the vicinity. It might have changed a little bit depending on how any enemies get the hill, but you're going to be not into a spawn trap, into a vice. You're not going to be really in a bad position like you was holding on the enemy team. So now, what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and move on from P3, but P3 is your money hill, guys. We're going to go on from P3, and we're going to talk about P4. And why we're going to talk about P4 is because this one is a tricky one to get right. And it's a tricky one to get right for the simple reason of it's really easy to get flanked. It's really easy to, there's so many entrances to this that if you don't hold it right, they'll get you out of there, and then it's just like a tit and tat back and forth. But if you can hold this down right, then you guys are doing okay. So right off rip, we're going to put a guy in the hill. We're going to put a guy right here at semi, and we're going to put a guy at the top. And then we're going to have a guy holding, he's going to be holding either stage or fork truck. Best idea is to be holding stage. So you have a guy in front of the semi, a guy on the top map, a guy in the hill, and a guy holding stage. This is probably your best bet. And we're going to go over here and we're going to talk about why that's your best bet. It's really just another one of those things. We want those guys to be kill fed straight through this tunnel. I mean, you have so many angles on this. You can literally either play gallows or fork truck. That dude could play either one of those. It just really depends, right? These guys coming out of here, they're totally getting fried right here. They're totally getting fried. But we're going to talk about why it's important for somebody to be playing these two windows up top. Okay, so the player on top right here is a super important role to play. Like, this is a super important spot to have because you have that door covered, you have that door covered, you have that door covered, and you have the ability to completely refill hard point if necessary. And since this guy out here is holding spawn, he doesn't want to get shot out of these windows. He gets shot out of these windows and the enemy gets back here, they're going to spawn flip it on you, and you're going to be getting kill fed through the tunnel, right? And the guy holding fork truck, his job is to watch that door or that door, right? And as long as the guy up top knows which one that he is watching, then he has one less thing to watch, right? So what we want by nearing the end of the hard point or rotating, we want this position to be the one that's being played. And then let's go ahead and just talk about P5. So P4, they're getting kill fed right through art. Okay, now P5 is right here. And at this point in time, the enemies are still spawning this side, so they're very close and you're kind of farther away. But here's the thing about that: your team from this spot and this building has every angle that you could possibly want to destroy people out of this hard point, to destroy them out of this hard point, right? You're gonna have a guy playing single windows, you're gonna have a guy playing open door, you're gonna have a guy playing hill time, and you're gonna have a guy playing this box. Okay, so let's go show you what that looks like, man. A guy's going to be sitting here. You got him destroyed on this angle coming out of that gate right there, right? And you have him destroyed coming out of here too. This guy right here, you can play this spot or this spot, right? And that door. But this guy right here, he's got that completely dealt with, completely done. There's nobody getting through there. And then he's got backup for here. Now a guy playing single windows, which you can play, I'm not going to say it has to be single window. So you can play the top or the bottom right here, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to get up here in your window, and you're going to annihilate everybody that comes through that gate and everybody that comes out of maps. Even if they're coming top maps, you got them destroyed, right? You have the advantage. You have the angles. You have everything that you need to have, especially when your team is backing you up from here. Your guy on point time right there. And then let's talk about why this guy's playing these boxes. I mean, it should be pretty obvious at this point, y'all. Why he's playing these boxes? For one, he's holding flank. They're not going to come in and flank you. And he's killing guys if they're trying to super duper early rotate, whatever. And he's got the information to relay. Everybody's communicating. Everybody's doing well. And I'll tell you this, guys, all it takes is one uncommunicated death. Like if you don't report your death one time, you could be the guy that causes your team to get put into a vice, right? So we have to seriously sit here and watch this. But what do we have behind us? We're 3 feet from P1. Our team is already on the correct side of the map to have the correct spawn and rotation to start it over again. So the last thing I kind of want to go over with you guys is the spawn locations, right? So spawning semi and then spawning this side, right? So from spawning semi, we're going to fork truck, double windows, and hard point and stage. This is going to be your position if you spawn this side. Super easy, and you're going to lock them in a vice. Now, if you're spawning this side, what you're going to do is you're going to send one guy around to pick up fork truck, and then you're going to send 2 guys to go and pick up hard point. You're going to send 2 guys to go pick up hard point, and you're going to send 1 guy to top maps. So let's go over here and let's discuss what it looks like if you spawn into the hardpoint match from this spawn right here. So right off rip, this guy is going to make his way around to fork truck, right? The second dude is going to go straight up here, full tack sprint right on him, because guess what? He can beat the guy here. That's going to kill your guys there. And he's got this angle to toast the enemy team coming this way, right? So this is first spawning in. 2 guys to the hard point. And this guy right here, this dude right here is like one of the most important guys. If you're spawning here on a hard point match at your first, as soon as you spawn in, this guy right here needs to get his job done. He needs to take out anybody that's back here. I mean, he needs to let people know, hey, I need backup to get this over here, because you need this part of the map. You need this fork truck, and you need this semi, you need this back half of the map, because then now we got them in our original vice. So that is the complete full circle of hardpoint on BAGRA Fortress. This is positions broken down. I hope y'all like this video. If you want me to do more, just drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a comment, man. Thanks for stopping by. Hope y'all like the content, man.